I'm joined by our tallest guest yet. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. My name is Julia. I am a partner and CEO at the WN Media Group. We are most famous for the conferences we organize, White Nights. That's what I'm known for, WN conferences. And, I've been in the industry for 16 years this year, actually. Been on the developer side, publisher side, and mostly networking and connecting people together.
I think you were telling me there was a conference recently that you're a part of as well.
Yes, just yesterday, actually, we hosted Women in Games. First time in Cyprus. It was not purely our project. We hosted together with two partners, Exol and Axelbolt, two companies. And the idea was to gather women that are in the game industry and give them the opportunity to, be in the safe place and share the challenges that we all face. Like here today, as usual, there are fewer women than men, and I've heard that I'm the first woman being in the podcast with you today.
Well, we'll see how we edit the ordering together. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. How long have you lived here in Cyprus?
Actually, it's almost 2 years now.
Okay.
I think I can call it home now. I really love it here. The truth is that I was born in Siberia, can you imagine, in Russia. But now my friends tell me that I have broken genes. Nobody believes that because people that don't live here find it hot. But for me, 22 degrees in the evening, it's already quite chilly.
No, that sounds good to me. As someone who's been in Sweden for 8 years, I'll take that any day of the week. I'm curious, even in your 2 years here, have you seen any changes in game development?
Well, first of all, in Cyprus, it's an amazing community for the gaming industry. To be honest, I live in Limassol, and it's very difficult to go anywhere and not meet someone you know. I don't think if there is any other place in the world like that, because, Cyprus is quite small. The community is very concentrated, let's say. And I love it so much. And I have a lot of industry friends, of course, for years.
So you said you worked on all sides of the game development process. When you look at Cyprus and we think about all the different parts of the game development cycle, do you think all of those pieces are here, or have only some of them started to land?
As you probably know already, a lot of studios or companies here relocated to Cyprus in the past 3 or 4 years. Of course, there were some companies before, but a lot of them relocated several years ago. And a lot of companies moved their C-levels and marketing people, biz dev people, CEOs and stuff. So I would say that there were a lot of high-level people in gaming, but also there are a few studios that even started here in Cyprus. That's why there were all kinds of people. But in general, I would say that a lot of people here have more seniority compared to, other places.
When you think about growing your own business over these last 2 years, have you found any roadblocks or advantageous aspects about being here in particular?
Here, just the opposite, I think, just because the community and most of the projects we do, they connect people. And in this sense, it's good. On the other hand, we work in the gaming industry. And I think last year, a lot of people thought that we finally reached the bottom. And next year, everyone gonna be, going up. And apparently, with 2025 coming to an end, it's not exactly the truth. I would say it's quite challenging right now to gather people that are experiencing challenges. But at the same time, I think that's why we should do it. Because when you put people together in one room and you allow them to discuss their challenges and the pitfalls and the mistakes, whatever, it allows them to find ways how to, to continue and find ways how to become better.
So you were talking about the conference that you had, I think it was this week.
Yes.
What were some of the challenges and pitfalls you found that were revealed during that conference that you think people should be aware of?
Well, this particular event was devoted to women, and it was actually very funny. At the opening of the event, one of my partners asked the audience, please raise your hands, those who was dreaming to have a career in the video games industry. Can you guess how many hands we had?
I wish everyone's hands jolted up, but
none.
Yeah,
None.
Unfortunate.
Yes, that's the point. That at least in the past, we girls are not encouraged, to make career in video games. Though my mom did tell me to consider maybe choosing a programming career, maybe because it seemed that to be better at that time at least. But I still said no. Sorry, Mom. I like the languages. I like English. I like literature. Here I am. And many fellow girls, they also didn't expect to find themselves there. So I think it's important to encourage everyone, and girls in particular, from the very early age, to show them the opportunities that are here. And it's actually not just, men-only world, that video games are open for everyone, especially now with all these trends, for diversity and stuff.
So I can only speak anecdotally, but one of the things I've tended to find is that genre plays a big role in gender and how they select in. So I've tended to find less women in first-person shooters, and I've tended to find more women in puzzle. I sometimes find that the developers mirror the audience, that they try to make games for themselves.
You know what? When I just started my career back in 2009, I was at the casual games industry, puzzles, right? Of course, the majority of developers were men, and the majority of the players were women. And the title of my presentation back then was, "How come that developers are from Mars and players are from Venus? How come you men that do not understand us in real life very often, let's be honest, how you manage to make games that are played by women? How do you do that?" And I took a camera and I went to the streets, and one of the popular genres was hidden object, when you are supposed to find this or that. And I was showing a wrench to women in the street, and I asked them, "Do you know what it is?" Almost no one could answer the question. They had crazy ideas about what. And I highlighted it to the men come on, guys, if you are making games for women, maybe you could have more women in your team to, help you pick correct objects to find, or, to do something for them to enjoy it more. And I think it has shifted a lot since then. And there are a lot of women that work at game design or arts. I mean, if you go to GDC, to San Francisco, there are still lines to men's toilets, not to women's. And it says a lot, and I hope it will change.
No, that's particularly curious.
Actually, at our conferences back in the days, we started in Russia, and with the Soviet education and everything, we were brought up nobody told me that women are somehow worse than men. People just forgot to tell me that, and I never experienced that even in my career. So one of the early conferences back in 2014, I think, we got a tweet, actually by someone from Finland, tweeted that it's the best balanced conference in terms of gender. So we historically had a lot of female attendees and at higher roles, but and since in Cyprus, which is Cyprus, Cyprus and Russians, it was meant to be.
It's a good portmanteau.
Yes. And I told you before that a lot of C-levels and management people moved here. We also have a lot of women here. Yes, but in general, I would say there are less high-level jobs that women can take.
So one of the curious things I find about puzzle, which tends to be older and female, is that when we contrast it to Roblox, which we were hearing from our GDCY organizers, it's a platform that has a pretty healthy gender split. Do you think Roblox is going to be something that will help encourage women to enter the games industry if we start them young?
At that interviews that I was making at the streets, I also asked, can you describe a typical game developer as you would think of them? And women would give answers like, yeah, it's someone with a big beard, with crumbles in their beard, and, playing all nights long and stuff like that. And that's the image that we had before. And if we promote some healthy image that is, even, share the statistics about how many women actually play puzzle games, I think that can make it more natural for them to think of Roblox. To be honest, I'm not an expert at Roblox, have never tried it. Possibly, yes.
That's at least my hope. I've spent some time looking at Adopt Me. It seems like there's a healthier gender split there, and I have hope. Maybe the hope will dissipate.
I
but-
think younger generation is also very different, and with the technology, like I have a 5-year-old daughter, she can talk to a AI managed speaker, let's say, and give commands and ask, and or she can deal with a tablet and she can play games, and she knows how to deal with YouTube Kids and stuff like that. And I'd like to buy a PlayStation for her. And I mean, if you are exposed to that from the very early age, this is a part of your personality, kind of like, and yeah. And actually, this summer she attended a summer camp where she was studying programming at 5 years old.
Again, start them young. Start them young.
Exactly. So yeah. I
Did
think
she like it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's some visual programming, not for sure,
Yeah.
but I mean, she was trying to do that, and I think if you learn it from the very early age, that can make a difference.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
That was very discreet, and I think we should keep it in the video.
I'll try.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.